never seen in all my time looking at hurling a display like the full forward line of Tipperary gave it. They scored 2 goals and 21 points between the three of them. It's unreal. Now you'd have to say Kilkenny made no change in the whole game. The 3 players that started in the full back line stayed there, but that doesn't take from the performances of Bubbles O'Dwyer, Seamus Callan and John McGrath. Gave 3 of the greatest performances you'd ever see. We all knew they had a brilliant full forward line, but to produce it like that on the biggest day is incredible. Well done to Tipperary, well deserved, by far the better team.
No doubt in the world about that. Well, we've got the star of the show, as it were, and he's down there talking with Claire McNamara.
John Bubbles O'Dwyer, you thought you'd won an All-Ireland in 2014, but you're an All-Ireland winner today.
2014 is forgotten, but we're champion in 2016!
Oh. Fantastic feeling and a fantastic goal from you.
People had been doubting this team. We knew exactly what we had in this team, in this dressing room, 2016. Everyone doubted us from the start of the year. We proved our doubters wrong tonight. We're champions of fucking Ireland!
What did it feel like for you to hit that net?
Sorry?
What did it feel like to get that goal?
Look, myself, Shamey and Johnny inside forward line, we do the easy part. It's the boys out in the middle of the field and the backs that do the hard part. All we're there to do is to finish. And look, I got the chance and I put it away, and we got another 2 goals as well. Look, we're just delighted with the win.
Tipperary forwards really on fire today. You spoke about work rate. You really did it all over the field.
Yeah, look, it's just something we've been working on in training. So the A versus B games in training are absolutely manic inside. So the lads that didn't get in the field today are the lads that deserve huge credit for this year.
It was a roller coaster year for you.
Yeah, look, I had my doubters at the start of the year. I think I'm after proving my doubters wrong here now.
What will it mean to you to climb those steps in a few minutes' time?
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Words can't describe it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Apologies for the expletive there, but you can understand the exuberance of John O'Dwyer there, having scored a goal and 5 points after the sheer disappointment of 2014 when his point at the end was ruled out because of Hawkeye. They might have won that day, but they've done it here. They needed all their craft and all their mental strength to beat the team which has dominated hurling. Look at the crestfallen faces on the Kilkenny players. So many years they've been the top dogs, and Brian Cody goes around with a little word for each of his players. Credit Michael Ryan, as you have been doing, Michael, here, for willingly taking on the task, and credit his players as well for the single-mindedness in ensuring their victory this afternoon. There's Jackie Tyrrell. Yeah, this is what it has meant, Michael.
That's Mick Ryan, yeah. But like Mick Ryan came in there and, you know, he looked at the panel and he said, what do we need to do differently? We can't go back and do the same thing again.
Well, we've lots of stars here, Michael, but what about this man, Seamus Callan? 13 points today, he's with Clare.
Seamus, a huge contribution. How are you feeling? A second All-Ireland?
It's hard to put into words. It's just the best feeling ever. It means so much to us, you know. We've had a lot of bad days, but you know, this makes up for it. It's just that, you know, we've suffered enough, and when you get that feeling, that hurt, we didn't want to go through that as a family again.
Is that what drove you on?
Absolutely, yeah. That's every one of them there are our brothers and our family, and you know, that's all that matters, and we done it for each other, and just the effort is sensational.
Seamus, go and enjoy the celebrations.
Thanks a million.
Yes, the team now making their way up to receive the trophy. Tip may have won the match as they were brilliant champions. Kilkenny will continue to be recognised for what they are, a remarkable squad as well. But today has belonged to Seamus Callan and to Tipperary. The fans staying on the terraces, staying in their seats, those lucky enough to have seats. There's one man who did his bit through the years, Nicky English, part of the 1989 and 91 team.
They were here today as well, 25 years ago.
Yep.
But I was making the point about Mick Ryan. He brought in these new players, Dan McCormick in the half forward, and then John McGrath, Noel McGrath coming back from illness. You know, what a day for Noel today. Brian McGrath, captain of the minor team. What a day for the McGrath family. An amazing achievement here today.
Well, the presentation of the trophy now about to happen.
Fantastic display of our warrior sport of hurling, and we show fantastic appreciation to hurling. I've run with it, Aaron Leakata and Akalom as Forrest Captain Himmerthorn, Brendan Marr.
GAA President Eogan O'Farrell making the presentation. Liam McCarthy goes to the tip captain, Brendan Marr. Tipperary are back. They're back once again as champions under Michael Ryan. Cue the celebrations. They're champions for the 27th time ever. Rightful All-Ireland champions for 2016. What a day for them. What an explosion of noise and colour and celebrations and joy.
We waited 6 long years But now we're back! It's a lot of thank yous. Gonna have to make too many people involved to name them. Want to thank our sponsors, Elbury's Intersport, anyone else who has donated to the team and the team training fund throughout the year. Your support is much appreciated. To the Tip Supporters Club, County Board, any association, Tipperary, not only in Ireland but overseas around the world. Thank you very much. To referee Brian Gannon and his officials, any staff and volunteers around Croke Park today, thank you very much. You did a great job today, and I'm sure people keep coming back. If they see finals like this, they want to come back every year. I want to mention, this isn't just 2016 for us. Previous management teams, backroom staff that have been involved in this group put an awful lot of work into it. They're not here today, but this is yours as well. To the families of all the players, management, backroom staff, partners, relatives and friends, you stick with us through thick and thin. You're true Tipperary genuine supporters. And without you, we'd be nothing. Thank you very much. To the Kilkenny team, you set the benchmark over the last decade. We've met you in a lot of finals. We've come out the wrong side of it, and we're just thankful this year we can call ourselves champions. We know we've earned it, and I'm sure you'll be back in 2017 to challenge again. With that, I'd like to give 3 cheers for Kilkenny management team and players. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And finally, people of Tipperary, leave the Carties back!
Minutes, you know, I mean, when Kilkenny got the sucker blow of a goal, you know, I felt, God, you know, 2 points down. But like Tipperary had 15 points scored after 40 minutes, and they finished with 2 goals and 29 points. They scored 2 goals and 14 points in the last 30 minutes. That to me is a phenomenal statistic. They just played with total freedom. They were really in the zone today. I see Dennis Leamy there. I know that he's done a lot of the background work in terms of really what makes a champion mentally. And you know, to Mick Ryan, I mean, you know, what a man. I suppose I had the pleasure of him by my side for my 3 years involved. I mean, such a man for Tipperary. But I would have a small thought for Eamon O'Shea today, because I do think, like, you know, he was there for 3 years. He came so close to getting that cup over his shoulders himself. And I know he had a massive impact on all of those players as well as Mick. So, you know, while it's great for Mick in his first year, certainly it's fantastic achievement, and he deserves fantastic credit. It was great to see the old Portrush man there with kids in his hand, kids and wives and everything. So I'll tell you,
he's putting them in there.
the Camogie team is in good shape, Portrush years to come. But no, look, it's great, as I said. These guys have suffered a lot over the last number of years and didn't manage to get their hands on it, and today they did. And to Mick and to all of the management team there, they deserve great credit. As I said, Declan Fanning, Conor Stakelum, John Madden, real Tipperary men, and as I said, done huge work to get to this day, and it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Well, it is, and as I said a moment ago, for anybody involved in Tipperary hurling these last couple of years, this is the day. This makes up for everything. Henry Shefflin, you said earlier on, we were watching the celebrations, you said Tip were the better team this year. That was... Yeah, that's a compliment.
You know, to score 229 in an All-Ireland final, like, you know, it's unbelievable scoring 221 from the full forward line.
To score 220 and losing an All-Ireland final is unreal as well.
I know, yeah, and that is the character of the team. And, you know, first and foremost, to be fair, Tipperary were the best team all during this year. Once the championship came, they just were, you know, the changes Mick had made over the winter really worked out for them. And, you know, the best thing that happened was the semi-final where Galway nearly put it up, and it marked their calves. Bubbles is back today, gave a brilliant performance. So first and foremost, hats off to Tipperary. But I do feel for the lads, because obviously I know so much of them personally, and it is difficult. But the one thing about those lads today, Kilkenny, even when it looked like the game was gone, and we all knew it was gone, they kept on trying. And I think that's the character. That's why they have been so successful. But today is about Tipperary, and there's no doubt about it. You know, the hurling they played, some of the scores they got, you know, some of the chances they created, it was brilliant to watch, to be honest, you know.
And Ger, obviously you want to add your congratulations.
Well, absolutely, and to Michael Ryan and to all Tipperary, because that is something absolutely fantastic for everybody outside of the counties, to see a team that endures so many heartaches and so many setbacks and almost people losing confidence in them, to see them finally triumph. And that's what Tip did today, because in 2010, as Liam was saying before the game, there was huge expectation that this team would go on and take over. But they've had very lean year. Well, they've won 5 or 6 Munster championships, but they haven't been able to get one over in Kilkenny. And to see them finally do it, you know, it's testament to a deep down belief and a great character, you know. And the man who led we saw there first with the cup, Pádraig Maher, in the very first game below in Thurles this year, or below in Limerick this year, when you saw his physique, he looked leaner than ever before, and you saw that as a statement of intent. And then Michael Ryan saying they were going for more direct approach and a more physical approach. In other words, they were going to try and match Kilkenny at the end of the day in the brilliant attributes that Kilkenny have brought to hurling. And the only way to try and get the better of them is to do what Michael Ryan has done, not by fancy tricks or anything else.
Yes.
And when you see a team doing it after that, it is absolutely brilliant. And that full forward line today, McGrath, Cannon and Bubbles, you know, who will be the man of the match? That is you know, how would you choose between Bubbles and Cannon, you know, and Seamus Cannon? I mean, they score so much, but all over the field. I mean, to beat Kilkenny in the air, to outmuscle them, to outfight them in the rucks, and to get scores that were so spectacular and so open. It shows the quality that is in this Tipperary team. But what was missing up to now was those characteristics of that ball winning, that aggression, that physicality, you know, the things that were really needed to get the better of Kilkenny. They had all of those today.
And I would say that the steal, when Kilkenny got that goal, it was like, I was delighted because I felt, right, we're going to come now. We were saying it was going to be a big score in the game. Walter Welch got the goal and Kenny went 2 or 3 points up. But Tipperary responded like champions, and with steel, they scored the next 1-4, 1-5, and that was, I think, what we were questioning before the game, but I think they showed it today.
And Kilkenny have been fantastic. You know, yes, we just can't forget they have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
They have saved Hurling in a way from going down a very bad alley with all these systems and sweepers, because they stuck to the fundamentals. And the only team who beat them were a team who matched those fundamentals. That's what gives me great satisfaction.
Yes.
Because for the game going forward, this is the way we want to see it played. We want to see it played like this played today. And Tipperary beat them at that game, and that even enhances all the more their victory today.
Well, there's no question about that, Liam Sheedy, because, I mean, as we said earlier, it was a scoring fest out there. We're paying me arm written down scores in the second half. You know, it was great stuff.
Yeah, you know, and some of the players, you know, shame he couldn't find an ounce of space here the last day, 3 weeks ago in the semi-final. And today, like as Henry, and we were just commenting about it outside, like when Seamus Callan gets quality ball, he is literally unmarkable. And that's what we're seeing today, you know. And like, you know, the movement to the inside forward line, the bubbles that pop up in the right corner, I thought the way to use the ball. But most importantly of all, the rucks, when the rucks developed and the ball was there to be won, generally, there was a blue and gold jersey was coming out. I thought they showed a defiance in the jersey today that we probably haven't seen for a number of years here from this Tipperary team. So they came up with the mess today. As Shane McGrath spoke about it on Friday night, he said a lot of these lads have a lot of tears left in this sod over the last 6 years because they haven't managed to overline, and they weren't going to leave tears out there today. Well, you know, that's what they have. They might have a few tears of joy, but certainly, as I said, I have full value for the victory and the way they went about it. And as you know, they matched up, they took on the physical battles, they went 1-on-1, and you know, ultimately Kilkenny, they destroyed them in the finish. And like, there was always a danger, but I mean, Kilkenny, I mean, what a team! I mean, like what they've done, and like I suppose I've said it, like really. Over the years, I felt someone should have been coming and taking Kilkenny down on the back of what they'd lost. And Gerard came in for a bit of criticism early on there, but that's what exactly happened today.
And on that note, let's hear from the winning manager, Michael Ryan. He's talking to Claire McNamara.
Michael, congratulations. You're taking a quick drink, well deserved. Was that the best you've ever seen your team perform?
Yes, this year, for sure. Yes, this year. And, you know, I suppose that second half, you know, it was typical of many of the games throughout the year. You know, a point up, a point down, it made no difference. It was all about, you know, the second half and how we'd all finish. You know, and our boys just, they really, really dug in. And I couldn't tell you how proud I am of them. They were just fantastic to a man.
You certainly found that much talked about intensity that you needed.
Yeah, there's a lot spoken about that. You know, it's a great word. It takes a lot of emphasis off of a lot of other things. Look at, you know, what's intensity? yeah, guys just doing their best out there. You know, and in fairness, you know, I think both sets of players did exactly that. We got the vital few scores, you know, to put a little bit of daylight in it. But I thought it was a fantastic second half from Tip's point of view.
Just talk to us about your forwards. Some incredible performances there.
Yeah, no more than we'd expect. You know, like this is you know, the pinnacle of the year for all of those players. You know, it's a super day to play and get a feel for the ball and get stuck in, and that's exactly what they did. And you know, and it wasn't all sunshine and roses out there. We struggled for periods of that game. You know, particularly in the first half, I felt to get the ball to stick, but they just worked and worked and worked. You know, and that laid the foundation.
I suppose particularly after the Kilkenny goal.
Yeah, and you know, like that was a great goal. It was a really, really good goal. You know, typical Kilkenny goal. But I was really happy with the immediate response. You know, we immediately kept our composure and attacked the ball again, and you know, worked it up the field. And you know, the guys were just in great form. You know, I couldn't tell you what our wide count it was in the second half, but I'd say it was very small. It felt to me like, you know, we were hitting all the sweet spots and they were going over.
An emphatic win in the end, and of course to do it against Kilkenny, who've been the best team in the land for quite some time.
Oh look, you know, sure, what can we say about Kilkenny? You know, they're here, you know, they're the ever-present team, and usually at the winning side as well. Look, this is a fantastic day for Tipperary hurling, and I think, you know, we might have awoken other giants here that had been sleeping a little bit. In that, I think every other county is going to take huge, you know, encouragement from what we achieved this year, you know, because we're all in the pot. You know, every single one of us hurling counties were chasing Kilkenny, and those are the facts. And you know, for one of us to come through and, you know, break that mould for once, I know, and don't get me wrong, that's not a foregone conclusion that'll ever happen again. You know, such is the quality of Kilkenny. But I think you know, we're after sending home a lot of teams, that'll, I would say, set the 2017 championship alight.
And it turns out you were right to start with Bubbles.
Well, you know, a lot of our decisions are chance. But look, you know, he had a fabulous game. He really came into his own in the second half. Got a great goal. You know, it's irrepressible, that kind of skill and, you know, flair. So it was great. You know, it was great to get it on the pitch, and it was great that he performed today of all days.
This is quite a team you've built in your first year in charge. Not a bad return.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't over-egg that either. It's not my first year involved. You know, from last year we were very, very disappointed here when it finished for us in August against Galway. You know, and look, most of those same players that were out there again today. You know, we certainly brought some new players in, but you know, we didn't go out there and create a new team. The nucleus of that team, the core of that team, was solid and was always there.
This is one Tip have been waiting for a long time. You'll enjoy it, no doubt.
We will. You know, like it's just so hard to win. You know, so few have come up here and you know, achieved what they set out to achieve on final day. You know, Kilkenny have just been so good. So it's great to do it. It's great to do it, and it's a fantastic reward for, not just for the 2016 team, but even for previous teams that have come up here and suffered heartbreak, which I was involved in. I know exactly what it was like. You know, and it's great for Tipperary and the followers that come and support us day in, day out. You know, so look, it's just a great day for Tipperary.
A great day. Congratulations, Michael.
Thanks, Claire.
And yeah, I have to say, I suppose, two very happy Tipperary people down in our studio, Claire, as well as Michael Ryan. Stadium is clearing here at the moment, but it has been, Liam Sheedy, an amazing day for Tipperary. You won the minors, and of course the Jubilee team were some of those great players of the past as well, from 1991.
Is it okay to call it a treble? There
you can.
It's a hat-trick. Okay, the hat-trick. Yeah. No, look, it's great. I mean, look, that, you know, the minors and the seniors. So both of the teams head back to the Burlington tonight, and you know, we've all been back in the Burlington and these places when you don't have any cup. So to walk in tonight and have two cups, but you know, I suppose, look, I think they'll enjoy tonight, and obviously they'll enjoy the next few weeks. But I think deep down, Michael Ryan will be thinking, right, you know, he was involved in 2010 when we felt, you know, we'd won senior and 21. And we thought we were just going to take off and be back here every year. But it doesn't work like that. But for tonight and for this evening, Tipperary, I think the county board and everyone involved in that team deserve great credit. You know, they've not just, I mean, the footballers have improved this year. The hurlers got to the minor and the senior All-Ireland's winning both. So Tipperary at the moment is really coming strong. In sport and in GA
and they're very strong all the way down.
Very strong all the way down. Like, and that's the nucleus of that team is very, very young.
Yes.
So like they have the chance of being back here again next year and the year after. So from a Tipperary perspective, we'll be smiling tonight, and rightly so. Yeah.
You have had so much to smile about down in Kilkenny down through the years, Henry. This maybe isn't the day for doing this, but I suppose at the same time we have to reflect on where Kilkenny have been for these number of years and where maybe you go from here?
Yeah, I think it is. No doubt any loss, but any big loss like this, is. And let's be honest about it. We were concerned about our panel leading into this championship. And Michael Fennelly's loss today wasn't going to make that much of a difference, but it would have made a difference to us.
Yeah.
But 55 minutes, we were probably 7 or 8 points down. And you could see the lads having a chat, but they weren't quite sure because I suppose we don't have the strength and depth that we did have in other years. And it eventually does catch up. And when it catches up with you, it's when you play the best team.
Yes.
And that's it. Where we go from here, I wouldn't be concerned because my concern is the Tip are in the prime. Seamus Callan, Bubbles the Wire, 26, 27 years of age. When you think about it, for any player in any sport, that is the peak of your powers. You're mature, you're at the physical best you can be then. And that's the concern with Tipperary now, is that they will push on from here. But with Kilkenny, we've a lot of young players. We don't have that many older players. There was one or two that might think about things over the winter, and let's give them time to think about it.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of younger players. Whether those younger players can now develop to get up to the level that will be required to stop Tipperary,
That's
the big question mark, because we haven't had that much success underage.
Yes.
And I suppose it eventually catches up. But, I've no doubt Brian will go away and hopefully think about things and stuff like that. But he is critical for our success and our future that he is there, because whenever Brian goes, first of all, who's going to fill his shoes, because they're massive shoes to fill. But he just creates that culture of never giving up, keep going to the end, which they did again today, to be fair. And I suppose that is the bigger concern for Kilkenny, But
sure.
The lads will be very disappointed. But I seen Mick Dempsey coming over to Michael Ryan there. They know it. Tip are the better team, and they'll be the first to congratulate you. And I think Kilkenny have always carried themselves with dignity when they won, and they're the same when they lose as well. So, and they'll be the first to say that Tipperary are the best.
Look at the innings they have.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic innings.
Well, we're
Definitely beating some of that.
As sports people, you're always
of
want
course,
more.
of
And,
course, yeah.
and for us, sitting back and stuff, and the spectators will say it, sure, Kilkenny were great, they don't owe us anything. My God, say that down the dressing room. Hitting off you by Brian Cody or someone. So.
Yeah. Oh, I know a few Kilkenny people who are planning the party out in City West tonight. They will be devastated, I can assure you of all that. All right, we have another commercial break coming up here on the programme. Exciting stuff from up here. I'm sure it was no less down there.
Highly exciting, I suppose, but really the game was finished with 20 minutes to go. Tip were all over Kilkenny in the second half. Kilkenny's goal, if you like, was a little bit against the play, but you would have to say that, as I was looking at the scores in the first half, after 15 minutes was 5 points each, but really Tip were dominating the game, and I'd say the management were scratching their head as to why they weren't ahead. Little freeze and things kept Kilkenny in it, but Kilkenny can't have any qualms. Tip were far and away the better team. Look, the fresher team. Now, the question that Kilkenny will be asking themselves, or the supporters, is that, the centre-back was being pulled out to midfield. There was a big hole in front there. Lots of great ball going into, Seamus Callan and John Bubbles the Wire and John McGrath. And once that's happening, these guys have the talent and they have the ability to, to tear you apart. So why Kilkenny didn't push somebody back there and maybe try and stem the flow for a while, I'm not sure. But as Henry said there earlier, Michael Fennelly was a huge loss, and you could see his value to Kilkenny all down through the years by his loss today.
I suppose, Donald, one of the things about it is, with most teams, if you go 8 or 9 points up in the match, you can start the bus and get ready to head off home. But I know the people watching the match here at this level they still weren't convinced until the final whistle blew.
Well, I think somebody made the case there that Kilkenny, a bit like Dracula, you have to put stakes through the heart of maybe 3 or 4 just to make sure. But that's because of the reputation and the massive reputation that they had. But they no longer have the out and out top players in their up six that will create goal chances out of nothing. They got good goals. Richie Hogan got a great goal and to pull them back into it, but they just didn't have enough. And as I said, around the middle of the field, Tip were in control. Their half back line were in control, and you always thought, right, okay, we'll go 7 points up. Keep pushing points ahead because Kilkenny will come back at you. That's the reputation that they've built over the last 15 years. And in fairness to them, they kept going and they kept going till the end. But really, it was Tip's day. And up front, I mean, their full forward line, once they got good ball like that, right, John McGrath was an absolute, right, looking from here, it was a masterclass in forward play by Tip.
All right, Donald, I see the fellas in the yellow bibs eyeing you up there in the background, so we will let you go and come back to the lads here in the panel. Gerlach Nan, when Kilkenny got that goal at the start of the second half to narrow, not to narrow it down.
Go ahead, 2 points ahead.
Yeah. I could hear the death knell bells ringing coming down the road here. But
yeah, exactly, because and I suppose it's typically what Kilkenny do in the first 10 minutes after half-time, and we were saying that, like, you know, even if they do get it, you know, don't give up, you know, and that, like, Blanchfield crossed it brilliantly, Kevin Kelly finished it very well, but really, even though they had got that goal, you still didn't feel that they were that much dominating the game. And I think the crucial thing after that was Tipperary came back and scored 1-5 without reply after that goal. Now that showed the real character. That's where the game was really won. They opened up that 6-point lead, and really after that, they were comfortable after that. So, you know, like Kilkenny have done this to teams so very often, and they've done it to Tip numerous times, especially in the last 15 years. But Tip were ready for it today, I thought. You know, they were ready for it. They said, right, if they get a score or two, don't be discouraged by it. And the next 1-5 without reply.
Yeah.
I mean, they were opening up then a 6-point lead, and really they never looked back after
that was the key to the whole thing.
I think that was the key.
When Kilkenny got that goal, Liam, you said to yourself, Tip, we're going to need a goal here to get back in. And of course, they got it, as Ger said.
Yeah, they did, you know, but I mean, the full forward line, I mean, they have showed that type of class. You know, they got 5 of them in the Munster final. Like, they had got 10 goals coming into the day. You always felt there was a goal in this team. And Brian Gavin, I thought he gave a really good advantage there to Al Barrett. You know, he could have pulled in. So uncustomary of Paul Murphy. He actually dropped his hurling. So uncustomary. I mean, the guy is given so many exhibitions outside in the field here. But if you wanted a guy to be in that position, to be shooting for the corner of the net, there's probably no one else you'd pick. I mean, Bubbles the Wire is a class act in terms of his striking and his ability. And when he got inside, he smelt it and he went straight for the corner of the net. And in fairness to Murphy, you know, he made some fantastic saves today, but this one got in and beat him on the far post, and it was a real lift here for the crowd.
When Bubbles swung at that, we all jumped back up here in the stand.
Just before that, Tip got the 4 points after that, and it was the first time all day I heard the Tip roar come up. I spoke about it in the Munster final, where it just sent shivers, and I think the momentum was completely gone with Tipperary then, and Bubbles got that chance, and the easiest thing to do for him was to tip it over the bar, but they were going for the juggler. Shortly after that, Bubbles got another chance with a great save by Owen Murphy. The ball went down the field, and Pádraig Maher went up into the skies, plucked it out of the sky, and he gave a monstrous score. And it was just like, you know, but that was it. And you look at the Kilkenny players, they were struggling to get back because we were just a little bit leggy-headed. And that sometimes happened. We're speaking off air, the semi-final replay, an unbelievable occasion down Thurles, took an awful lot out of the Kilkenny team, I think, and we probably saw that today. And Tip were fresh and hungry. And again, in sport and life in general, I think in business, anything, you can't beat a bit of hunger. And that's what Tip showcased today.
I mean, I suppose the thing about it is, apart from all of that, Ger, it looked like Tip were starting to let Kilkenny off the hook. As Henry mentioned, a couple of goal chances there that were asking to be put away and weren't, but kept going, and of course McGrath getting the next goal then.
That's the great thing about Tip today. They weren't discouraged by any setback, and that's one of the crucial things when you want to make a breakthrough. Be ready for setbacks. You know, now in fairness here, they were deprived by 3 brilliant saves by Owen Murphy. He was just outstanding. Like the double save here, I think this is the goal.
The brothers combined, Noel McGrath picked it up, and we said it outside again. Anyone else would probably panic and say, I'll shoot straight away. Noel McGrath, with his hurling brain, just slipped the ball into his brother John, and it's been a brilliant day for the McGrath
family.
And
Henry, look at the touch there, the vision.
Oh yeah, you know, look where he put the ball, and look where he put it, like
the skill,
top corner, and that's risk. That's from playing in the backyard.
I suppose naturally we will look at goals. They're such a marquee part of the game, naturally enough. But what impressed me, Liam, was some of the points that Tip scored in that second half. I mean, there were some class scores.
Oh, they were phenomenal. I mean,
at vital times.
At vital, but even the use of the ball. I mean, you know, just I thought to crisscross today. You know, we would have been critical of the type of ball they were giving against Galway, because we felt it was very just straight down. There was no angle on it. But today I thought they worked it well, and they were taking the ball into them. And, you just love to see Shane Callanan getting on balls like this, because
not for us.
Well, it depends where you're from.
But Liam, it was always, see Brendan Maher, it was always
this
the man.
This is the point now, Henry.
This is unbelievable score by Pádraig Maher. But the other previous points, it was the man in the better position. And sometimes I've seen with Tipperary, they play as individuals. I think collectively it was the man in the best position got the ball, but they were switching the play. They kept Kilkenny completely on their toes, and it just, like that ball is just unbelievable. Chest high into Seamus Callanan.
But when you have that skill level, when you have that skill level and you put work rate along with that skill level, then you have the real package. And that's what was lacking probably up to now. It wasn't the same work rate. And method as well. Great method,
I think we're going to have a word from the losing manager, and it's unusual to hear us say that here in Croke Park, All Ireland final day. Brian Cody's with Clare.
Brian, a rare defeat, I suppose. Can you tell us where you think it was lost for you today?
I mean, there's no argument about the thing today, Clare. The better team won the match. You know, I mean, the better team always wins the match, as far as I'm concerned. But it was comprehensive. You know, the first half we went in at half time 2 points down. Well in the game, we got a good start to the second half, got the goal. But like you know, they didn't blink. They came back at us and they got some terrific scores. We were outplayed through the second half, and essentially, like I said, there's no argument the better team won the match.
Just weren't as fluid, I suppose, as we're used to seeing from you. The Michael Fennelly loss, was that a big factor?
Yeah, but I mean, there are no excuses. You know, I mean, it's the very simplest thing in the world is to talk about somebody who wasn't playing. I mean, we had 15 players, they had 15 players. We had our team, they had their team. Their team was better today, and that's it.
Tipperary, huge firepower today. Your defence found them very hot to handle.
Yeah, but they're excellent hurlers, like, and have been for a long, long time. Some of those players are top-class players. And today, they just, I suppose, really flowed today. They really, really flowed, got some terrific scores. But right throughout the field, you know, the attackers will always get the kind of the lights and all the rest of it. But I mean, throughout the field, right from the back right up, they were excellent today and fully deserved a win.
Were you tempted to make changes in your defence earlier?
Look, I mean, you see what's happening there. The thing goes ahead, and so, I mean, we did what we did, and we didn't do what we didn't do, and that's it. Again, you can talk about ifs, buts, and maybes, but there are no ifs, buts, and maybes about today's result. Or the better team won the match, and that was it.
You've been in both dressing rooms. What's been said?
Look, I mean, ours is the one that the losers' dressing room after Ireland final is every single year. We've been very, very lucky to have not sampled it too often. Tipperary one is the place to be. Ours is the place not to be.
Brian, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Claire.
And indeed, our thanks to Brian for all of his cooperation down through this year. And so then, our live